So, hello, good morning, ladies. Good morning, everybody. What are we going to be doing today? Yes, before I go on, I'm Christian. I'm sure we all know me, Christiana Zaku. Yeah, but I'm Christiana Ndomnego now. I am an educational consultant, basically for early years and primary schools, and I also run a school. So I'm going to be giving us little tips that will do us very much help as parents. Yeah, yesterday I said I know it's been really a daunting experience for most mothers and fathers with having kids in the house. We are not used to this. We are used to just pay the school fees, send the child there. When he comes home, even if there are assignments, we get a lesson teacher, the lesson teacher handles it. But now we are forced with having to school them ourselves. I know a lot are doing lessons, a lot are doing online classes, but it still doesn't fill up the space for a proper and a formal school setting. So what I'm going to be giving us, I call them, or they are generally called learning styles. Every individual is very different. Every child is different. So to be able to effectively teach a child, you will have to know the learning style of that child. For example, my kids, they are different. They learn in different ways. One, if I want to teach one how to read, all I need to do is write out the text for her, and she sees it, she reads it, and she's there. But the other one, once you just give her a write-up to read, she tunes off completely. Or you say sit down and you want to read to her, she has tuned off. Okay, the particular one I'm talking about, she's a bit younger than her classmates, so she was kind of having a struggle with reading. This holiday, I decided, let me take her up personally. Her learning style, we'll get to know what that is kinesthetic. What I did was, draw out alphabets on the ground, sounds precisely on the ground, ask her to jump from one box to the other. For example, in one box I have K, which is C, and I have A, which is A, and the other one I have T, which is T. Then when she jumps K, A, T, she tells you cat. And that's how she learns to read because of her learning styles. It's going to be a bit demanding, but once you get a grip of it, it comes seamlessly and you will enjoy it. You just see how the gleam that comes on their faces when they get it. They are excited and you are getting them because you get their learning styles. So what are these learning styles? So many scholars have listed and come up with so many of them, but they are basically 3. These 3, a child can combine 2 or 3, but mostly 1 is always ahead. So I'll mention them, I'll explain what they are, and I know as you are hearing them, everyone will begin to know, okay, my child is like this. No, this one is like this. Then you know how to help the child to learn. So the learning styles are auditory, kinesthetic, and visual. I'll go again. Auditory, kinesthetic, and visual. An auditory learner basically feeds his mind through his ears. If you want to get someone who is an auditory learner, you want the person to really learn, you have to make everything something that he or she will hear. Like listen to songs, listen to you read out loud, listen to you talk. This is one of the methods that our teachers in centuries past have used. So when they come, they feed only the auditory learners, and every other person in the class is lost because I don't want to hear you talk. I want to hear you do something else. So for the auditory learner, he or she is satisfied with basically listening to you. I'm sure you've had friends or possibly yourself that will say, okay, I've learned this thing, but please let me say it out loud so that I will know if I have gotten it. Just hold the book. And you want to hear yourself say it. And as you're saying it, it is rolling out. It is rolling as you're like, oh, okay, I know this one. That's an auditory learner. Some other people, auditory learners too, they learn with music in their ear because there's a way the reading plays and it plays along with what they are reading. So auditory learner basically feed their mind with their ears. If you can talk to them, if you can speak with them, you read stories out loud to them, you can say to them what it is you want them to learn, they get you. There are those groups that say, once I'm in the class and I hear the teacher, I'm good. And you that have another learning style will go and join them and play, not knowing that barely and merely hearing the teacher, they are good to do their exams, or they already have that knowledge. That's one. The second one, okay, I'll give further explanation on the auditory learner. The auditory learner, like I said, feeds on songs. So if you have kids in this class, what you do is you get them rhymes. You want to teach them alphabets. You want to teach them to read. You want to teach them about the weather. Get them songs. Play these songs to them that talk about these things, and boom, you are there. As simple as that. Then you read out loud storybooks. You pick your storybooks, read out loud to the child, and the child gets it. Then you explain, they hear you spell if it's about spelling. Sorry, I'm limiting to early years and primary school things we learn, because that's my specialty. But if you have a child older than this age range, just tweak it to whatever it is the child wants to learn. Get audios that will feed this child, and you are on your way to helping the child learn. One thing we must seriously note is that your learning style is your major distraction. So a child who is an auditory learner is sitting in the class and a music is playing somewhere else. The child is not hearing you. The music most likely will carry the child's attention. So as much as this thing will help them to learn well, you should also know that you should keep away distractions that come in those same form. For example, you are trying to teach A and another music is playing. The child will be carried away by that. So keep away those things that are feeding the ear and focus on just that thing you want the child to learn. So I'll try to be fast. The next one is the visual learner. In the classroom setting, when a teacher just comes to talk and doesn't bring charts, doesn't bring diagrams, doesn't bring visual things the child can see. For example, you are teaching the child about careers and you don't bring miniature doctor or miniature firefighter, or you don't ask them to draw it, the child really is not following. If you basically come and talk and say a doctor is someone that treats sick people, give the child the next day he has forgotten what you said. But if you drew a doctor on the board, the child saw the doctor, the child saw the sick person, the child saw the drugs, he was able to see what you are saying. Then you get the visual learners. They feed on videos. Get them pictures, get them illustrations, charts, things that will show what you are saying, even to read. They can't just listen to you and say they have heard. For example, you call a visual learner to come and tell a story in the class. The person will do better if you have given the person the story to actually read and see the alphabets as they are written. The person remembers the spelling better. Then, like I said, for the auditory, the visual learner's major distraction is visual. Once you are teaching one thing, keep out of sight those other things that are going to distract the child. Then the third one is the kinesthetics. Yes, these are the doers. You must do something. Don't just come and talk and show. You have to get up from your seat and make them do by themselves. So for example, I'll go back to the doctor. You teach careers. You have spoken about who a doctor is. You have, for the auditory, you have drawn a doctor on the board. For the visual, they need to role play. Tell them to dress up like a doctor. Tell them to treat as sick people. Then that knowledge sinks deep into them. So I'm trying to make it to parents now. I think I'm tricking it to teachers. But as a parent now, you know that this is what your child is. You know you don't really have to cover every form of learning. A teacher has to cover all, because in every class, it's compulsory. You have all three of them in each class. But as a parent now, you have, like for example, 3 kids or 2 kids. You just get to know what their learning style is and teach them according to that learning style. So basically, they have to role play, they have to jump. You can't keep them seated in one place to learn. No. The example I was giving at the beginning, my second daughter, I had to draw things on the ground. I was teaching time. I drew a clock. I would tell her to use her feet and give me 2 o'clock. She'll turn the feet 2 o'clock. Use your feet. Show me 5 o'clock. She'll turn her feet or get sticks. She's moving around. So visual learners basically have to move. They have to go here, do this in the process of the learning. So I'll give it a general cap. But before that, the distraction of the kinesthetic learner is action. You are teaching, they are shaking, their body is moving, they want to do something else. So you have to find a way to keep bringing them back to your objective. This is what we're learning. This is what I learned. So come back. Don't do the other one. Let's do this one. So if your teaching is completely void of doing, trust me, you just wasted your time and energy and effort. They learned nothing. When you ask them, what did you learn? They will look at you. So, know your child's learning style. Feed them with materials that fit the learning style. Auditory, their ears, they must hear you. Visual, their eyes, they must see what you are saying. Make it a picture, make it a video, make it something visible to the eyes, and take away distractions. Kinesthetic, they must jump, they must do. So create activities that keep their body active in the learning process. Know that every 21st century learner must be actively engaged in his or her learning process. These learners are different. They are not like us when we're in school, that we could just sit and be satisfied with one thing. They are asking for more. Know them and get them involved in the learning process, and you'll be on your way to successful home training and homeschooling. Thank you so much. I'm still Christiana. Bye-bye.